Today, we're diving into a really cool hidden bit of aerial choreography. It's a procedure that lets the world's busiest airports manage a mind-boggling amount of air traffic.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Sitting on a plane, stuck in a line, wondering how on earth these massive hubs keep a constant stream of aircraft moving. Well, the answer is a very clever and kind of counterintuitive procedure. It's a system that basically lets two aircraft use intersecting runways at the same time. It sounds a little crazy, I know, but it's a feat that works thanks to incredible precision and rock-solid communication.
So that brings us to the heart of the operation. You can think of it as a landing, with a very, very specific deadline.
It's officially called LAHSO, which stands for Land and Hold Short Operations. And honestly, the name says it all. You're cleared to land, but you absolutely must stop your aircraft before a specific point. Usually that's another runway where a plane might be taking off.
Now, when this is done right, LAHSO is a massive win for efficiency. It lets air traffic controllers squeeze more aircraft in and out safely. That means less waiting for you, the passenger, and big savings on fuel for the airlines. The whole system just runs smoother.
For this whole thing to work, it has to be kicked off by a very specific and absolutely critical conversation between the air traffic control tower and the cockpit. This is not a suggestion, it's a formal clearance. An air traffic controller is the one who initiates the LAHSO procedure by giving a direct, formal instruction to a pilot on approach. And the language they use is incredibly precise. Every single word matters, but none more than those words right there. Hold short of taxiway Bravo. That phrase is basically a contract between the pilot and the controller.
In aviation, there's just no room for ambiguity. A simple Roger or OK absolutely will not cut it here. To accept this clearance, the pilot has to repeat it back word for word. They have to prove they understand.
And this is a perfect example of what's called closed-loop communication. It's essential for safety. When the pilot repeats, hold short, it confirms that both people have the exact same picture in their head of what's about to happen.
Okay, so let's shift our focus. We've heard from the tower, now let's jump into the cockpit, where the pilot has to make a super quick and super critical calculation. So put yourself in the pilot seat. You're on final approach, the runway's in sight, and you just got that clearance. You have to decide right now, can I pull this off safely? So what are you thinking about?
You're basically running a high-speed performance calculation in your head. You're thinking about your plane's weight, the exact amount of runway you have to work with, whether it's wet or dry, the wind conditions, and if there are any mechanical issues at all that could affect your brakes. And while it's not always required, a lot of pilots, especially in general aviation, will add their own personal safety margin on top of the numbers, just to create a buffer for anything unexpected.
A really common personal rule is to add at least 1,000 feet to whatever the book says. So if your aircraft manual says you need 2,500 feet to stop, you wouldn't even think about accepting the clearance unless you had 3,500 feet or more. It's a simple little rule, but it adds a powerful layer of safety.
Okay, and this all leads us to the most critical piece of this entire puzzle, the pilot's ultimate authority. This principle is really the bedrock of LAHSO's safety record. It's a constant reminder that while efficiency is great, the pilot's #1 job is always safety.
And here it is. LAHSO is always optional. Air traffic control can offer the clearance, but they can never force it. The pilot in command, and only the pilot in command, has the final authority to say yes or no. Period.
And turning down a LAHSO clearance isn't seen as being difficult or uncooperative. It's actually a sign of professionalism. A pilot is expected to say no if they have any doubt at all about being able to do it safely.
And there are tons of valid reasons to say no. For instance, student pilots are completely prohibited from accepting LAHSO. Or maybe there's bad weather nearby, like wind shear. That's a sudden, nasty change in the wind. Or you've got a tailwind. Or honestly, maybe you just don't feel 100% comfortable with it. In any of those cases, the right answer is simply unable.
And that really highlights the beautiful balance at the heart of LAHSO. It's a system designed for maximum efficiency, but it is built on the unwavering absolute principle that the pilot's judgment is the final guarantee of safety.
It's a great reminder of all the countless invisible calculations and protocols that are constantly happening behind the scenes to keep our complex world running smoothly. It really makes you wonder what other hidden systems like LAHSO are out there, ensuring our safety every single day.